Okay, good morning. My name is David Steinberg, Hearing Officer for San Francisco Public Works. Cerise Waiters is the clerk of this hearing. This hearing is being recorded via Zoom and will be available afterwards through a link on the San Francisco Public Works website, sfpublicworks.org. As this is a virtual hearing, there's no sign-in sheet, so if you would like to receive information about the results of this hearing, please send an email to the email address listed on the hearing notice. This public hearing is to consider 3 items. Order 212462 to consider the removal of 1 significant palm tree without replacement on private property at 4227 26th Street. Staff denied the removal and the applicant has appealed. Hearing order 212463 to consider the removal of 3 street trees with 2 replacement adjacent to 3447 Clay Street. Staff denied the removals and the applicant has appealed. Hearing order 212464 to consider the removal of 1 street tree with replacement adjacent to 1653 Jones Street. Staff approved the removal and the public has protested. My job as the hearing officer is to gather the facts of the hearing, listen to your testimonies, and help our Director of Public Works make determinations. I will not be making any decisions today. Instead, I will forward the findings from this hearing and make my recommendations to the Director. The Director will make the final determinations. When the Director's determinations are made, the Department will notify you of them if you have provided contact information. The hearing will proceed as follows for the 3 cases. First, I will ask Public Works staff to speak and present their case. There's no time limit for this presentation. Then I will allow the property owner or appellant or applicant to speak. And finally, any member of the public or witness who wants to speak. Each speaker will have up to 3 minutes to speak. The clerk will monitor the time for all speakers and will indicate when the speaker has 30 seconds left. If you are party to this proceeding, I will call on you to speak. If you would like to use visual materials in your presentation, please let me know before you speak. You will then have the standard 3 minutes to provide your comments. If you are a member of the public or witness who wants to speak, wait for me to call for public comments, then use Zoom's raise your hand feature if you're on a computer to put yourself in the queue to speak. If you are dialing in on your phone, dial *9 to indicate that you're raising your hand. When it is your turn to speak, I will recognize you. If on your phone and you're muted, press *6 to unmute yourself. If you would like to use visual materials in your presentation, please let me know before you speak. You will then have the standard 3 minutes to provide your comments. Comments and questions should be addressed to me and not to the department or the applicant. If you cannot finish your comments within the allotted time, you may submit written testimony to me by the end of this hearing. If I feel that a question is warranted, I will ask the question. After all comments are completed, I will close the item. We'll now begin the hearing. At this time, we will open the hearing to public comments. Members of the public may make comments on matters that are within the department's jurisdiction but are not on today's agenda. Are there any public comments at this time?
Yes. Good morning. My name is John Alty, and in the past, part of the instructions were there would be no rebuttals for any parties, so it would be shorter and also quicker, and also keep on target of only talking about trees and not other things that may come up that are not relevant to the hearing about trees. So I would wish that would be included as your instructions to the public by the hearing for this hearing today. Thank you.
Okay, if there are no more comments, okay, then I will close this item. This item is now closed. So the first item.
Excuse me, Mr. Steinberg. I did see another hand. Miss Sandy. I don't want to mess up the last name. Just a moment.
Ah, there it is. Okay.
I had sent a letter in earlier. Would that be part of today's hearing or when the public speaks? Do I read it?
Is that part of, is it for one of the items on the agenda today?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so you can speak at that time.
Thank you.
Okay. Are there any other public speakers who would like to speak on matters not on the agenda today, but within the department's purview? I don't see any more hands. Cerise, do you see anything?
No, I don't see any other hands.
Okay. Then we'll move on to the first order, which is hearing order 212462. May I have Public Work make its presentation?
Good morning. My name is Brian Ong. I'm with San Francisco Public Works, Urban Forestry. I will be the representative for Urban Forestry today. Can you guys see my screen? Okay. So this is for the tree removal hearing for January 7th, 2026. Just Happy New Year, everyone. So our first goal is to ensure safe, clean, and green infrastructure in public right-of-way. BUFF's mission is to preserve and grow the urban forest while balancing the safety and needs of a growing and evolving city. This is Street Tree SF. We basically received a $19 million annual set-aside in the city's general fund for Street Tree SF. There was a census completed in 2026, and we basically used that to create priorities and a routine proactive tree pruning schedule for the city's 125,000 trees. And so basically, a tree ordinance establishes authorization and standards for addressing a wide range of issues regarding trees. San Francisco's urban forestry ordinance is codified under Article 16 of the Public Works Code. And here's just like an outline of the Article 16 ordinance. Removal permits are required to remove street trees, significant trees, and landmark trees. An important update from February of 2022, if the department is removing a tree, a replacement is required within 120 days or added and tracked on a delayed replacement tree report. If a tree cannot be planted in situ, then it must be replanted at a nearby location. If property owner or the applicant is granted a removal permit for removal of a healthy tree, the department shall require a replacement tree equivalent value to the one removed or impose an lieu fee. An example is if the owner pays the difference between the appraised value or the subject tree minus the value of the replacement tree. The value of the replacement tree is based on the standard in lieu fee for a 24-inch size box tree or installation replacement size. So in most cases, a tree removal permit will not be granted if the tree is healthy and structurally sound. Our tree removal criteria is if it's dead, dying, not thriving, a poor species for the location, growth is no longer sustainable, damaging private property, the tree is hazardous. If the tree is small, less than 4 inches in diameter, and construction requires removal, the tree can be replaced in kind. If the tree will be destabilized by construction, or if there is no feasible workaround, the applicant must provide sufficient supporting documents. If a tree is in good to fair condition, applicant must pay appraised value for loss of tree. And so I'm going to start on the first order number, 212462 for 4227 26th Street. This is to consider the removal of one significant palm tree without replacement adjacent to 4227 26th Street. The staff denied the removal and the applicant has appealed. Here is a photo of the subject palm tree. It's a mature palm tree over 35 feet tall, 14 inches in diameter. It's in fair condition. There's no major health deficiencies, and the tree is not replaceable. The tree is damaging the retaining wall. So the retaining wall cracks are present, and then major structural concerns to reconsider sustainability of the tree. Basically, the property owner applied to have the tree removed, and we denied it. I'm not exactly sure if they plan on repairing the retaining wall, but to be consistent with how we deal with similar cases, we have denied the tree. That's it for that.
Okay, thank you. Is the applicant or appellant here to speak? Raise your hand. Okay. Cerise will unmute you, and you'll have 3 minutes to make your presentation. So Cerise will tell you when to start, and you'll get a 30-second warning.
I also have documents and pictures that were shared online. Are those available for everyone to see?
I don't have them ready right now. If you have them, I can bring you up as a panelist and you can share your screen. Otherwise, you just give me a moment and I'll have to go retrieve them. Do you have them ready?
I do have them ready.
Okay.
But there's quite a few of them.
Okay. I will promote you to a panelist. You're going to see a little message and you'll need to click on that to come over. And then once you come over, you'll need to unmute yourself once again.
Okay, so as soon as Cerise has that ready to go, she'll cue you, and you'll have 3 minutes.
Okay, you're here as a panelist now. Could you unmute yourself one more time, please? There you go. Thank you.
Morning.
Good morning.
Do I just drag and drop over to this, or how do I do that?
There's a button that says share screen. Do you, or are these documents that you have physically in your hands?
No, they're on my computer.
Okay, then you could say share
I see
screen.
the share. Okay.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So, there we go.
Okay, yes, now we can see it. So as soon as you begin speaking, I'll begin the timer and you'll have 3 minutes and then the hearing officer will speak after that.
All right, I'm ready.
Okay, you can go ahead then.
All right, we're appealing the refusal to remove the palm tree located in the front yard of our property based on serious public safety risks that remain unresolved, even though the DPW inspectors noted that the tree was in fair condition. Under San Francisco Police Code Article 16 and the Urban Forestry Program, tree regulation is intended to balance preservation with the protection of public health, safety, and welfare. A fair condition rating does not mean a tree is safe. It indicates that defects or site limitations exist that may compromise long-term stability and require risk-based management. Here, the risk is structural and ongoing. As you can see in the pictures, the tree has exposed structural roots, which is a recognized hazard condition under ISA best management practices and ANSI A300 standards. Exposed roots reflect loss of soil support and reduced anchorage, material increasing the likelihood of failure during wind events or saturated soil conditions. This risk is substantially compounded by the tree's immediate proximity to our retaining wall, which is already showing signs of deterioration directly in front of the palm. As the tree continues to age, this risk increases. Retaining walls do not fail gradually. They fail suddenly. Failure would likely result in soil movement, collapse of the concrete block and rock, creating a real risk of injury to occupants, passersby, and neighboring property owners. This is not speculative. It is foreseeable. San Francisco's urban forestry approach recognizes that trees need not be dead or imminently failing to warrant removal. Where a tree's location or condition creates a reasonable likelihood of harm, particularly involving critical infrastructure such as retaining walls, preventive removal is consistent with city policy and public safety objectives. As homeowners, we have knowledge of a hazardous condition, namely potential tree and retaining wall failure, yet we're unable to do anything about it. San Francisco law does not require property owners to knowingly accept foreseeable danger or to wait for a failure event to occur. This request is not based on aesthetics or convenience. This palm provides limited urban forestry benefit and does not contribute meaningful canopy, shade, or habitat. The property contains multiple established trees, and removal of this single palm will not diminish neighborhood character, and in fact, it will enhance the existing landscape. When preservation is weighed against safety, the conclusion is clear. The exposed roots, the risk to the retaining wall, and the potential harm to people and property justify removal.
30 seconds.
Denying removal puts us in an untenable position under San Francisco law. We know of a hazard involving exposed roots in a retaining wall, yet we are prevented from mitigating that risk, contrary to the city's duty of care and public safety objectives. For these reasons, we respectfully request that the refusal be reversed in the interest of public safety.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Are there any members of the public who wish to make comments on this item? Okay, does not appear that there are any public comments.
There's one that just came.
Oh, okay.
We have Michael Nolte. I think there's a little slight delay between you and I. That's
Could be, yeah. Okay, thank you for
just
notifying.
just a moment, Mr. Nolte. Go ahead and unmute yourself.
Okay, and you'll have 3 minutes to speak.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, we can. Go ahead.
I appreciate the dilemma that the property owner is in, but the reality is this is a tree removal hearing and not the condition of the property. And in this case, the owner is still responsible for the maintenance of the retaining wall, and would, regardless of if it's decided that the tree is removed, the retaining wall would still have to be repaired to, again, some of the same points that are mentioned by the property owner, which would be public safety. So either way, the retaining wall still needs to be repaired for public safety purposes. So as far as it's a mature tree, it's been on her property. I don't know how long she's owned the property, but obviously, it's a mature tree that's been on the property for many years, and leave it alone. And it should stay. Thank you. And I'm a native San Franciscan.
Okay, thank you very much. Is there anyone else? Excuse me. Is there anyone else who'd like to make public comment on this item?
Yes, we have one other hand.
Thank you.
Mr. John Nolte. Go ahead.
Good morning. Yes, so since this is just dealing with trees, not retaining walls, and since the retaining walls is the issue that seems to be brought up by the property owner, it's got nothing to do with the trees. Therefore, because that only refers to the roots of the tree, that may be causing this issue. We don't know that because there are other trees in that immediate location, which is very deceptive by what she's shown in her picture and what was presented too. So, because I actually looked at Google, which shows shows the whole property, not just one little piece of it. So, again, this is a tree hearing, not a property issue with the property. And as far as the removal, the tree is in good, as was stated, fair health. So therefore, it's okay to keep. The retaining wall is the issue. Retaining wall is the issue that needs to be fixed. I didn't hear anything about the palm tree creating a hazard. I heard the retaining wall is the hazard. Therefore, the retaining wall has to be fixed. So the order should be about the property owner fixing the retaining wall and not about removing a mature tree that's within the public right of way, and therefore this should be denied as per the Buff's recommendations prior to this hearing for order number 212462. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Cerise, please let me know if there's anyone else who wants to speak.
I don't see any other hands at this time.
And just for clarification, Brian, this tree is not in the public right of way, but it is a significant tree on private property, correct?
That is correct.
Thank you.
There are no other hands at this time.
Okay, if there are no more public comments, I will close this item. For those who may have come in later who didn't have a chance to speak, we'll allow time at the end. So we now move on to the next item, which is order number 212463. And we'll have Public Works present, please.
Hello, good morning. Brian Ong, San Francisco Urban Forestry. Order number 212463 for 3447 Clay Street. This is to consider the removal of 3 street trees with 2 replacements adjacent to 3447 Clay Street. The staff has denied the removals and the applicant has appealed. And then these are the subject trees. This is the first one. It's a Corymbia red flowering gum. It's about 35 feet tall, 21 inches in diameter. It's in fair to good condition. It's been pollarded in the past and topped, and there's some minor sidewalk damage. And basically the tree has been pollarded in the past, not typical of the species. The applicant did mention ivy growing on the tree, which can be mitigated by just removing the ivy. The tree can be maintained as is. There's no major structural deficiencies. The basin expansion, they did mention sidewalk uplift, and the basin expansion can mitigate sidewalk damage, just basically making the basin a little bit bigger, and the tree is replaceable. So we have denied this tree. Here are some other photos of the tree, of the ivy. There is a metal pole growing in, 2 metal poles growing in the tree. I don't know how far it goes down, but possibly it could be removed towards the base of the tree. Here's some more photos of the sidewalk damage. I kind of marked in white where you could do a basin expansion. We can repair the sidewalk and then do a basin expansion to mitigate any tripping hazards and any future sidewalk damage uplift. This is the second tree. It's the same species, Corymbia red flowering gum. It's about the same height, the same dBH diameter. Again, this one is in fair to good condition. It has all been pollarded or topped in the past. It's basically the same thing as the one previously, with sidewalk damage. The tree has been pollarded in the past, not typical of the species. The ivy can be removed. The tree can be maintained as is, and the basin expansion can mitigate sidewalk damage, and this tree is replaceable. And then this is a few more photos of the tree. You can kind of see the structure of the tree. Again, here's some more photos of the sidewalk damage, very minor. We could do a basin expansion again on this one. And then this is the last tree in question. It's a Pittosporum. It's a Caro tree. It's about 15 feet tall, 11 inches in diameter, multi-stem. The roots are girdling around the base of the tree, and the stop sign is blocked by a few of the branches, but that can easily be pruned and maintained for the stop sign interference, and the tree seems sustainable and healthy, and because of the proximity to the stop sign, the tree is not replaceable. And here's some other photos of the tree, close-ups, and then close-up of the girdling roots. But to be consistent with how we deal with similar cases, we have denied the removal of all 3 trees. That's
Okay.
it.
Thank you. Now is the appellant here to speak?
Yes, hi. My name is Dan Colbeck. I'm working with the homeowner on this one.
Okay.
This project.
Thank you. Cerise will tell you when she's ready, and you'll have 3 minutes.
Yes, go ahead. You may proceed. Or did you have
Yeah,
items that you want to share?
I do not.
Okay.
But yeah, so hi, I'm Dan Colbeck. I'm a certified arborist. I'm working with the homeowner on this property. They purchased the property, I think, last year, and they're in the middle of an extensive renovation. They inherited these trees that had been pollarded in the past. Looking back through Google, it looks like the last time they were pollarded was probably 2017, 18. And trees that are pollarded really do pose a long-term structural deficiency in that where those pollards happen, it really creates weak branch unions. So all those branches that you see in these photos here are really weak and subject to falling down in storms, creating really a public nuisance. Obviously, this can be continued to be pruned in such a fashion, and that will require kind of yearly pruning to in order to bring this tree into an acceptable form. But long term, it's putting a very large maintenance burden on the city, on the homeowner to kind of maintain and create a tree that is healthy in the long run. The owner would like to replace this tree with a new tree, and all these trees actually, with new trees that can be installed and maintained and pruned so that they are healthy, long-standing trees. The owners invested long-term on this property and would like to have a tree that is healthy and sustainable, and correctly pruned. Sidewalk issues aside, there is some significant tripping hazards right outside their front door. So again, with the replacement of these trees, we can really, those sidewalk issues can be addressed. And with the new installation, can be done in a way that prevents these sidewalk issues in the future. That third tree, the last tree, that tree is actually in really poor health. That's the tree on Laurel Street. It's a Metrosideros, and that girdled root is just really, that tree, I don't know how long it's been in there, but it is not reaching its, it has not reached its mature size and probably never will. And if it does, it will pose a long-term risk. That tree, I guess I'm hearing from Brian's assessment that cannot be replaced due to the proximity of the stop sign. So I was not aware of that, but again, I worry for the long-term viability of this tree. But if it can't be replaced, we can talk to the owner about that. That's it.
Okay, thank you. Are there any members of the public who would like to speak on this item? Please raise your hand.
Hello.
I see Nicholas Hertz. Okay.
Yeah.
Cerise will tell you when she's ready, and you will have 3 minutes to comment.
Yes, I'm ready. Go ahead.
Hello. I'm the property owner, and working with Dan to understand, what we can do as we get ready to move into this tree. I've been living in San Francisco for 20 years. I did my PhD at UCSF. We plan on living in this house long term. We have 3 children, and when I pulled up to the house after a storm, a large branch had fallen from the trees that were on Clay Street, and had fallen behind a car. And I'm really concerned that this could continue to drop trees, to drop branches. Could hurt my children if they come out of the house. And based on this application, we had asked to be, in the application, it also said that we could not trim the trees or do anything else to mitigate the risk that this is posing to our safety. And so what we are proposing to do is to replace these trees, and we're willing to cover the cost of the replacement trees to be able to, first of all, replace this tree that's on Laurel that's not doing well, that's not healthy, and then also create a long-term sustainable solution on Clay Street for trees that will not pose a risk to our health and safety living in this house. And so that's our proposal here. We want to just replace each of these 3 trees with consistent trees that are also up and down the block that will not pose a safety hazard to us and our family.
Okay, thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to speak on this item?
Yes.
Okay. We have Sandy and
Yes, this is
Alex.
Sandy. Go
Okay.
ahead, and I'm ready with the timer. Go ahead.
You have 3 minutes.
Okay. Firstly, let's be clear. Removal is an incorrect term. It suggests the trees would be relocated. They will not be relocated. These beautiful mature trees will be killed. Trees are a precious part of our planet, let alone my neighborhood. They clean the air. Mature trees give off more oxygen and clean the air of more carbon dioxide than do juvenile trees. They give our concrete neighborhood shade and provide shelter for various animals, including a gray squirrel family, probably 2, who give the children at the playground next door many happy sightings. They harbor many bird species, including finch, chickadees, sparrows, and many migrating birds, including wild canaries. They also provide food in the form of seeds and insects for these birds. We also get a flock of wild parrots that enjoy the trees. Reckless tree cutting helps no one. Perhaps these trees need a bit of a haircut, which would suffice and address any real concerns while not interrupting the animals and birds who've made these trees their home. I live on the corner of Clay and Walnut, which has been denuded of trees. 3/4 of the side of the block on which I live has not one single tree. It's a concrete cold space. New trees, which have been planted when sick trees have been removed, are no bigger than my arm and take forever to grow. One could grow and they are not even strong enough or sturdy enough to hold a small bird feeder. I've grown old watching them try to mature, and I've lived here 35 years. The 3 trees scheduled for removal are not sick. A simple trimming might be warranted. Saving mature trees is just as important as planting new ones, since old trees have complex ecosystems that cannot be replaced easily. And by saving these trees with this simple step, we can help protect nature for future generations. Let's work together for a greener neighborhood. Please, I implore you, do not kill these beautiful trees. I have 2 photos that I attached to my memo, but I'm not sure you'll be able to see them. The cold concrete view and the wonderful tree view. I can kind of hold them up to my camera to see if you can see them, which you probably cannot.
No, I cannot see them at this time. I would have to promote you to a panelist.
Okay.
Let me see. Just one moment. I paused the timer. Just a moment. Now, once you're over here, you'll need to unmute yourself one more time, please. Shh. Shh. Can you press the unmute button?
Yes.
There you go. Okay, so now you should be able to turn on your camera.
I think it's on.
No, it's not. It's just showing your name. It'll say video.
There
You go. Okay. Okay, now I'm gonna start the timer. You have 31 seconds left. Go ahead.
Okay, I just don't know how to get this to be seen. There we, whoops. Anyway, there are 2 photos of my neighborhood. I don't know.
Yeah, you probably would want to turn off the making it fuzzy, whatever.
Sorry, guys.
That's okay.
Anyway, There we go, but they're upside down.
Okay,
If I turn it, I lose it.
that's fine. Okay.
But you can see trees on the same side of my block where the 3 trees are. And then you can see the very cold concrete area where I live. So we need these trees. Otherwise, the whole block will be nothing but scraggly little tiny trees. And we'll lose the beautiful habitat of all the creatures who live there.
Thank you. And so if you have not already submitted that, you can submit it through email to Urban Forestry at SFDPW. But if you have already submitted it, we will forward that on to the hearing officer.
Yes, I did submit it yesterday.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, is there anyone else who would like to speak on this item? Please raise your hand. Okay, we have John Nolte. If you would,
Good morning. So there's a couple of issues that were not really even mentioned here. One, the street in front of this property is a slow street. Therefore, the cars are not supposed to be moving fast. So therefore, you don't have an issue with a car getting hit by a limb. Secondly, as stated by the buff, the 2 trees, the 2 mature trees should be taken care of, which the arborist didn't seem to state about removing the ivy. So I think removing the ivy would help the trees get more water, so forth, and won't be competing with the ivy. And secondly, removing those bars. But besides that, the property owner admits, or was stated by his arborist, that he only bought the property, and there was work being done on the property currently. So he bought a piece of property. Now he wants to fix it for his family, and so he's deciding, to take out trees that are there. There are trees on the other side of the property. I don't hear if he wants to take those out. He only wants to deal with the ones in the front of the property. But if he, again, there's kind of an idea of, well, I don't want these here. How about the ones on the side of my property? If I get these out, maybe I'll go for those. And also, I don't know how big of a backyard he even has. So, again, we're losing mature trees in an area, as stated by another person, that there are not enough trees on that block. And I also look at the on Google Map and look at the other trees that are on the block. So therefore, these are established trees, as long as also the ones throughout the block, except for the ones that have been removed, because I don't have a current picture of Google. But again, these should not be removed. And as stated in the order, that it's only the appellant requesting it, but Buff likes to keep the trees. So therefore, on order number 212463, suggests that we maintain the trees per the order on the agenda. Thank you very much.
okay, thank you. And Josh, you will have 3 minutes as soon as Cerise gives you the.
Yes, I'm ready whenever you are.
Okay, thanks. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Thank you. Yeah, my name is Josh Klipp, and even though I am a member of the San Francisco Urban Forestry Council, I make this comment as a member of the public. As Brian mentioned in his introduction, the city passed Proposition E in 2017, which is now Street Tree SF. It passed overwhelmingly by San Francisco voters, and the point of Prop E, now Street Tree SF, was to set aside $20 million a year for tree maintenance. This includes pruning, and it also includes sidewalk work. In fact, a lot of the money from this set aside tends to go toward the sidewalk work. So this is not something that is a cost to the homeowner. This is the responsibility of the city. And these trees are not the property of the homeowner. They are the property of the San Francisco public. It is our taxpayer dollars, and it was our vote to make these the responsibility of the city, not the property owners. And this is the city's responsibility. Just a quick note about pollarding. Pollarding is not in and of itself. It's not a great thing to do to trees, but even around City Hall, every single tree around City Hall is pollarded. So this is not something that is unique to this property. It's something that happens not just all around City Hall, but all around San Francisco. It just from the photos, it looked like there was some construction happening, which of course always causes me to wonder, is this really about the trees or is this about convenience of construction? A lot of times people will apply to remove a tree ostensibly based on the health of the tree when actually it has to do with construction. Unclear here, just trying to hazard a guess from the photos that were presented. San Francisco already has the smallest urban tree canopy of any major city in the United States, and it is not growing. It is shrinking. It has shrunk since our last survey in 2017, and this is proven up by data and surveys performed by CAL FIRE and the U.S. Forest Service. We need to be doing everything that we can right now to save trees and not cut them down. This is not a matter of let's just take out a mature, healthy tree and plop in a new little sapling, as one of the previous commenters noted. So I would respectfully request that the final thing I would point out is that if this
30 seconds.
application is granted, we do lose permanently a tree in this city because it cannot be replaced because of regulations around stop signs. So I would respectfully request that the department uphold its decision to deny this application. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Is there anyone else who would like to speak on this item? Okay, Mr. Nolte, Cerise will tell you when you have your 3 minutes starting.
Yes, I'm ready. Go ahead.
Yes, my name is Michael Nolte, and I just would like the city to uphold its recommendation, and also just really concerned about how we're constantly losing trees in San Francisco. As noted in the original presentation made by your staff, the city's been responsible for trees now for 10 years, and we've lost thousands of the trees that were originally been reviewed, how many we have. And so we can't just keep on doing this. We can't keep on removing trees at everybody's whim. And we're not getting, we should be trying to find ways to create more canopy in San Francisco and not keep on removing them. This is a tree removal hearing and not and the property owner, when he bought the property, he bought it as is, and these things would have been part of how you could have decided the price on the property if there were all these problems. But again, as been mentioned, the sidewalk and anything abutting your property is the concern of the city, and we need our trees. The neighborhood wants the trees to stay, and you're new to the neighborhood, and you should get to know your neighbors, and make peace with the neighbors and the birds and the bees and everybody else. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to comment on this item?
There are no other hands at this time.
Okay, if there are no more comments on this item, I'll close this item and we'll make my recommendations to the director. The third and final item for consideration is hearing order 212464. So can I please have Public Work make its presentation?
Hello, Brian Ong, San Francisco Public Works Urban Forestry, for order number 212-464 for 1653 Jones Street. This is to consider the removal of one street tree adjacent to 1653 Jones Street with replacement. The staff has approved the removal and the public has protested. Here is a photo of the subject tree. It is an acacia, blackwood acacia. The tree is over 35 feet tall, tall and mature, 22 inches in diameter. The condition is poor. Their deficiencies are trunk decay, girdling roots, codominant stems with poor unions, and unstable lean over the road. Basically, there's significant decay in the trunk with obvious termite damage and very poor structural capacity on tension side of the lean. Past major limbs, stem failures with obvious decays in the wounds. The girdling curb against roots along the slope, further decreasing stem stability over the road. And the significant mechanical damage due to lack of clearance over the road. Here is a few more photos of that girdling curb and then the poor structure of the tree. You can see here, blackwood acacias don't do very well with the girdling roots, and you can see that there's some new sidewalk at the curb. They don't do very well with root pruning as well, and it looks like the curb was recently, or the curb ramp was recently installed. And then here is a few more photos of the canopy. You can see some signs of decay and poor structure. A few more close-up photos of some of the branch attachments. Here is another photo, close-up of the decay in the tree. And to be consistent with how we deal with summary cases, we have approved the removal of this tree. And basically, the inspector, she was taking a look at another tree down the street for a permit, and she saw this one and decided that it needed to be removed due to safety hazards. That's it.
Okay, thank you. Now let's see if there are, well, actually, yes, the appellant can speak if the appellant is here and you wish to speak. You would have 3 minutes to make your presentation. Go ahead and raise your hand if you are here.
There shouldn't be an appellant. It was just, she just saw the tree and decided to post it for removal. So there's no official appellant.
Got it. We did it. The department did. Okay. Then any members of the public who wish to make comments, please raise your hand and we can call on you for 3 minutes. Okay, Josh, you have 3 minutes.
Yeah, it won't take me that long. Just two points. The 2021 Climate Action Plan talks about city departments implementing policies of basal area replacement by 2023, I think it was. So just raising that apparently that is still not the policy of Public Works, but it is a part of our climate action plan. The other thing that I would point out is I would guess that this would go to the deferred replacement list, since it's probably not in an area that's going to get planted up anytime soon. And based on what I was told from the outcome of a recent Sunshine Ordinance Task Force hearing, apparently the department, the representative at that department was the now retired Chris Buck, who told the Sunshine Ordinance Task Force that even though the law requires Public Works to keep a deferred replacement tree list, that the department does not. So I guess I'm just putting in a comment here that, first of all, the department doesn't seem to be following what is recommended policy from our climate action plan, and also that the department does not seem to be following the Public Works Code Article 16 provision that requires the maintenance of this list. And both of those things would seem to implement be implicated here with this large mature tree removal. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Is there anyone else who would like to speak on this item? Okay, John Nolte, you'll have 3 minutes.
Yes, as during the presentation, it stated about on a corner the curb cut. The curb cut was done in 2021 per Google Map. So therefore, the city is responsible for some of the issues creating with the tree because the curb cut went into the roots section in 2021 when they put in the curb cut on this corner. So therefore, the city is responsible, and therefore the city should not be taking out trees, but taking responsibility and taking care of the trees since they were supposed to, under their jurisdiction per the beginning of this thing when in 2000 and almost 9 years ago when we passed the ordinance for the city to take care of the trees. So the city's going around putting in curb cuts, and also dealing with the sidewalks, but not also figuring out how that affects the trees that nearby that they're putting in these curb cuts. So therefore, the city's responsible. The city should fine itself for the department that to put in the curb cuts, and also that fine should go to fix this tree. But no, if it reverses itself, it wants to put in more deal with more concrete because again the curb cuts was concrete, but now they want to take out the tree just so that they could deal with the all these issues that they say that this tree is creating, but they don't want to fix the tree. They just want to find things wrong with the tree. I'm sure you walk up to any tree, you can find 5 things wrong with it. If you're really an arborist, you can say anything about any tree and grade it any way you want. But I don't hear more than one thing. And also, Brian Young just made a statement that he has not personally seen this tree. Somebody else did. So therefore, he shouldn't even be talking about it if he hasn't seen the tree himself. This is why we have a problem with these hearings is that the person that presents and may not have seen the tree and is only going on the notes of somebody else that wrote, and therefore there's a disconnect about what's going on with the tree. Thank you very much. And so I would maintain the large tree and disregard all the notes because unless the hearing officer wants to go see it,
30 seconds.
then I think this issue is mute.
Okay, thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to speak? Michael Nolte, go ahead.
Well, the more hearings that I hear, the more mishandling of trees I end up learning about, and it gets to be kind of as a member of the public, it gets to be kind of you start to be outraged about how your city dollars are being spent and whether or not things are being done correctly. First of all, it seemed like there's all these different issues that have occurred, and the poor tree is the victim, and nobody's saying, well, speaking out for the victim in this case. And so, the tree has been just standing there, and somebody comes along and says, well, you look sad, so I'm going to have to do something about you. And now we have a hearing, and I didn't really get how is this tree going to be replaced, and going on to some list, and very vague, and the tree is there and it's listening to you, and it's saying, not me, not now. It's going to stay, and it should stay. You can't keep on taking away trees. I didn't hear that this was an emergency takeaway tree that needed to go down. It's an emergency. Didn't hear anything like that. We've had a lot of strong winds and storms and whatnot. It looks like it's on a hill, and it seemed to have survived all that. And we're now hearing, well, but it's not going to, but the tree's saying, well, I've been here. I want to stay. Bring it up maybe in another year, but not now. It's still, it looks healthy to me. I see a lot of green leaves on it. I don't see brown leaves. I don't see a bunch of leaves that have fallen off of it. The picture shows a healthy looking tree. I mean, sure, you can look at the bark and you can see all kinds of things wrong with it, but I see leaves. So it means it must be getting watered and surviving. What does it look to you, hearing officer? It looks like a green tree to me. All right. Well, and I'm sure it has a large number of
30 seconds.
large number of environmental benefits that it's offering the neighborhood. And of course, property owner is going to say, well, if you're going to do something, it's okay. That's how a lot of management and property owners respond, because they don't want to have fights with the city. So, I've watched that happen all the time. Every time the city wants to do something to the street, nobody speaks out because they don't want to have a fight with the city. So
That's your time. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Are there any other members of the public who'd like to speak on this item? Nina Solomon, okay. And you'll have 3 minutes to speak.
Thank you. This is my first tree hearing, but I'd like to say, first of all, trees don't talk, but tree arborists do inspect trees. And it looks like this one has been inspected and it looks like it's failing. And to me, and I should say that I had a city street tree in San Francisco fall on me 2 years ago. And I was seriously injured. And it was a tree that had not been inspected, obviously, for some time. This one has been looked at. It looks precarious. It looks traumatizing to me and frightening. And if city people are saying, take it out, take it out. I mean, get rid of it. I love trees, but this one looks bad. The one that hit me should have been taken out and was not. It has since been replaced. And the one in my front yard should be taken out because it also looks bad and looks precarious. So, that's all I wanted to say.
Thank you for your comments. Appreciate it. And if there's anyone else who wishes to speak, go ahead and raise your hand.
There are no other hands at this time.
Okay. In that case, if there are no more comments for this item, I'll close the item and make my recommendations to the director. That is the final item on our agenda. So if there are any other general comments on any item, if you missed your chance to speak and you haven't spoken yet, but you'd like to speak on one of the items on today's agenda, go ahead and raise your hand and we'll call on you. Again, if you have spoken, you won't be allowed to speak again, but this is for people who might have come in later and didn't have a chance to speak. So is there anyone?
There are no hands.
Okay. So if there are no more public comments, I'm closing this hearing. This hearing is now closed. Thank you very much for attending.